Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh. Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Batman? What's up? What's up? What's up, Batman? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Just getting everything set up here. Yeah. Don't worry, everyone's late.
Yeah.
Ah. 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 Hello?
Yeah. What up?
Hello? Oh,
Yeah.
you can hear me?
Yeah. I can
Coming
hear
in
you.
hot.
Am I hot or you hot?
Oh, I was hot.
Okay.
Ah. Yeah, we're easing in. I was late too. Walking the dog.
Nice.
Doing my duties.
Dog's gotta walk.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
What?
Walk it like I talk it.
What?
Ain't that Migos?
Yes, that would be the Amigos. No, it's not the Amigos. It's Migos.
Oh gosh.
Did you
What
think
was
it was
that?
Amigos? Can you hear me now?
Was
Can you
that
hear
picking
me at
up?
all? What are you
Could you
picking
hear
up?
that?
I can
You couldn't hear that?
No.
Okay.
What was it?
I was playing Walk It Like I Talk It.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know what how that goes. How to play it on the air so we get demonetized. That's really the big goal. Let's play copywritten music, so these free live streams are free. kids?
Yeah. And today I had watching some other kids, so picked up like 2 more kids today.
Dang. Do their parents know you're just in the basement? Yoshi, will you look after our children? Yeah, no problem. I just got to do this comedy thing.
Yep.
Um, let's see. We got 3 people watching, so this is
Success.
great success.
Yep.
I'd say for the amount that I promoted it. I promoted the earlier one,
Oh, okay.
but then I didn't this one. But I'll put it in our Facebook group. This camera's a little off.
Yours or mine?
Oh, no, it's fine. I was talking about mine.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit of that. Oh, there we go. Now we're a little more centered. Hey.
Lights.
Hey.
Lights. Ooh, look at me, looking all even with the lights on.
Ooh-wee. Ooh. My computer is almost out of memory, so it's been a little finicky.
Oh, has it?
I mean, it's just like kind of loading slow and stuff. I don't know where all the space goes.
I don't know either.
But it goes.
Have you cleared your cache in a while?
Probably not. Oh, there I go.
Yeah, there it is.
But then other is like, oh gosh, how do I delete other? Other is like 1.5 terabytes.
You got to look through others. So a lot of times I don't know if you download like programs and then you don't get rid of them. Like after you download the program, they might be chilling like in the trash somewhere, or you just have stuff like things that you unzip or applications or stuff. That's usually where others are.
Gotcha. Oh, this is great. Jerem Matson just posted an ellipses. Like, is this what we're doing for the live stream? Trying to teach Joel how to delete the clutter from his computer?
That's the best comment ever, dude. That's so on point right there.
Yeah. That kind of sums it up.
Comedy timing.
You know, we brought so much heat earlier today.
Oh my God.
That it's like, I mean, why even bother?
Yeah. Why bother? Why would we do that?
It's because we're good people and we love y'all and appreciate y'all hanging out.
Yay.
I wish I can't access like other. It's like grayed out, but yet it's like a lot of terabytes. Yeah, it's the most terabytes.
Other be like that sometime.
That's so weird. Well, I don't know what to do on that. Oh, poot. Oh, here we go. That's 3 gigs. All right, we're going to start in just a second, people. I'm just making room on my computer.
Yeah.
But I guess it's fine. Seems to be working.
Yeah. I mean, it's working.
Seems to be working now. So I'll just delete this one.
What up,
That'll-
Nerdy Geek Life?
Oh my gosh, Minor is back.
Yeah.
He said, "Sup." He was here at the corporate comedy workshop masterclass we did like 4 hours ago.
Master Class.
Yeah, that was lit. That was super lit. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about that. We should talk about that. I guess we should start. Let me see if I can. Sorry, this is the first one we've ever done.
I was waiting
Sorry,
for
guys.
it.
This is our first live stream.
I feel like that should be how we start every episode.
Sorry, guys. This is our first.
It's the first time we've ever done this.
Yeah, this is the first. So we appreciate y'all's patience. Ow. Oh. I want to pull up something. Bill Burr said it's going rampant on Reddit. So we'll get to that too. A little teaser for you. There it is.
We in here, baby.
All right. Let's start, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So 17, well, basically 1730. All right. 3, 2. Let me turn up the music. We'll start again. Sorry, guys. This is our first one and last. All right, here we go. 3, 2. What is goody? Hot Breathiverse. Oh my gosh. We're back. It's Hot Breath Live, your weekly comedy tune-up with comedians Joel Byers and Yoshi So.
Yeah.
And we just wrapped up a corporate comedy masterclass with Stefan Dyer. We live streamed on our YouTube channel as well, which you can listen to on the pod or watch on our YouTube channel. Hot breath. But the number one thing you want to do is join our email list so you get live updates on when we do these cool bonus events and all sorts of other fun stuff. Because you missed, if you weren't at that live stream, then you missed free access to my clean comedy workshop. So if you were on the email list, you would have known about the live stream and you would have then gotten a free clean comedy workshop that would give you the tools to write clean comedies so you can actually book these high-paying corporate gigs that we went so in-depth on with Stefan Dyer. His second time on the show, an absolute masterclass. We got Minor in the live chat. Actually was at the masterclass, said he loved it.
So good.
There are no comedy Q&As like this in Spanish. I try to get the most out of it. I'm also at work, so it's wonderful to get paid while watching you guys. Very nice.
What a nice little silver lining.
That is nice. It's good to hear someone's getting paid doing this. Oh, no, we love it. It's all love, fam. Oh, and Frank Herrera said, I wanted to share, did my first open mic in English while on vacation in Sacramento and didn't bomb.
Nice.
Let's go. Congratulations there, Frank. That's awesome. We love hearing those success stories when people are on stage for the first time or they have a big break.
A tunnel as well right now.
How about now?
Oh, now you sound great. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to delete some things.
Oh, that's probably part of what it is. Don't delete it while we're on the live stream.
No, it froze, and then I thought maybe I should delete stuff because
Oh,
it was
no, no, no.
freezing.
Oh, you probably are deleting like cache stuff that it needs. That's probably part of it.
I
You
don't
don't want to
know. Well,
you don't want to be deleting while you're like doing something on your computer.
oh
You might be
really?
stuff in the back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Yeah. Save the deletes till after the live.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't do this with Stefan. Sorry, it's doing this with y'all.
It's all good.
Ah.
It's family. Yeah. Everybody get your questions in while we figure out the technology. Because this is
This
the
is our
first time we've
first.
ever done this.
It is.
I love the fact that we're also our own IT department every time this happens too.
Oh yeah. As long
Geek
as it
Squad,
holds on.
baby.
Hold on. Hold on to it. Hold on loosely. I don't even know how. I don't even know what time that happened. To
Oh, really?
just to edit that out later. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start all the way over. Is what we're gonna do.
Oh,
That's what we're gonna do.
let's make it happen, baby.
So thank y'all for hanging out. We're we're having technical difficulties, but we're gonna get through it here. All right. So hopefully, no more freezing. What's up, Hud Taylor? You're just in time. All right. 3, 2, 3, 2, poop. What's goody, Hot Breathiverse? Welcome back to Hot Breath Live, your weekly comedy tune-up with comedians Joel Byers and Yoshi So.
Hello, hello.
We just wrapped up a corporate comedy masterclass with Hot Breath OG Stefan Dyer. You can check out on the podcast or on our YouTube channel. Straight fire, we live streamed on our YouTube channel. So if you want to get in the know on these bonus events we do and much more, join our email list linked in the show notes. Because if you were on the email list, you would have heard about that live stream about corporate comedy, and then you would have gotten free access to my clean comedy workshop.
Boom.
But you didn't, so you don't.
Bow.
But it is still available if you would like to get it. But we're going to get into today's Q&A. And on the topic of corporate comedy, us talking about corporate comedy today really got me reflecting on some fun ones. And there was one that came to mind that was a holiday party because basically corporate gigs pay so well because a lot of the times they're just terrible setups and people don't even care some of the time or a lot of the time. And I think Stefan summed it up pretty well that like the only person that really cares is like the person that booked it.
Yes.
And the only thing they care about is not getting in trouble.
Yep. And don't make them look bad.
Yeah, like that's essentially all they care about is that you just don't make them look bad. So that is a positive corporate comedy. And what we talked about a lot in that masterclass was just there's so much more you can do than like, oh my gosh, I need to stand up there for an hour and tell joke, joke, joke. There's a bunch of different ways you can do corporate events that Stefan really broke down to us in a very tactical way. But this one holiday party I did was literally, I'm standing in front of the buffet on like, it was like basically a Mr. Microphone. I mean, it's one of those sound systems that have like the briefcase handle that you can pull up and roll around and it like lights up, which is the one thing you want on stage is a distracting thing that flashes every time you talk.
Yep.
and the mic cord was literally like 4 feet long. So I'm like in the corner by the buffet having to engage this large room of people in circular tables, which with a wireless mic, I could weave and connect and, like make it all like an entertainment. But there I'm just like stuck in this for an hour. And it just brought back so many memories of that check clearing and it all still being worth it.
How was the gig? How was the actual comedy part?
The actual gig was actually good. Like the audience was into it and I was still able to play with them and do crowd work
For sure.
and like engage with them, but it was just uphill. And the venue that they had it at apparently forgot that, or the caterer, something with like behind the scenes, the caterer forgot or the venue didn't coordinate it. Basically, the event started an hour late. So then it's already starting late, and then they still had to eat, and then I had to do comedy after all that. But they did pay me for that extra hour that I was just like waiting around. So that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of the many adventures in corporate comedy, but still worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Frank Herrera said in the live chat he had to perform in a food court with a football game playing on a screen behind him. Got paid to be miserable for 25 minutes. Oh yeah, I've done several where it's like every TV is on and you're just in there.
Yeah.
And this was before I knew to like request just to turn the TVs off.
Yeah. You don't know till you get to that situation. And you're like, it'd be great if no one else is distracted by this.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. But that just brought up good corporate comedy memories. But I think people definitely should go listen to that.
It's so good.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best we've done. I think it's one of the best pieces of content we've created. I think and the first time we had Stefan on was another one of the best. So
yeah,
he's on a roll. He's gonna become annoyed with us because every week we're gonna be like, Stefan, come back and tell us what to do some more. Stefan, tell us money. Tell us. I just love connecting. It's always important, and that's why this community is so valuable, and that you really are the sum of the people around you. So that's why I love this community being so positive and supportive and collaborative, because that just wears off on you, and you become that, and you start to exude that energy into your own comedy scenes, which is the whole goal of people joining the Hot Breathiverse and then going and telling their fellow comics out at open mics. So when you get to talk with someone like Stefan, and just learn from them and share different ideas on what we're talking about and be like, oh, I do this, oh, you do that, cool, how can we learn from each other? It all rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Yep.
So we appreciate Stefan for coming on, and we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us on this live Q&A, which we do have some good questions coming in. But I do want to get to this Bill Burr situation. Going rampant on Reddit, I saw. Talking about the young guns in comedy. And I think it's worth listening to for the peeps to hear and get their opinion on maybe what Mr. Burr said about this young generation of comics out here.
Yeah, I like that.
So let me cue that up. And here we go.
the product gets hurt. I see it in stand-up comedy now. You know, like you see it. When I was coming up, it was like there was always people trying to like write an act to get a sitcom or to get on the Tonight Show. Like they had an angle, but like most people were trying to get good at being comedians. And I feel like my generation would be doing what this generation was doing if what they have available to them, they would do. But now, like, analytics has even gotten into like stand-up comedy. And it's just like, okay, crowd work. Okay, get some more numbers. I got to sell tickets. Get a special. Chop up the special. Post the clips. Do this, do that, or whatever. And it stops being about like, you know, becoming a good comedian. I'm not shitting on younger comics either. I'm just saying, because my work now is affected by that. People are telling me, oh, you got to do this on Instagram. You got to post. That's why I'm posting those fucking stories on the thing. People, you got to do this. All right, I guess I got to fucking do this. I don't know. So I think I don't know what I'm saying here. I just think I'm kind of gonna fucking tap out.
Oh, that's so Burr. That's such a Burr moment right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's an interesting point of view coming from like an OG like that, where he's basically like, man, it's not even about being a good comedian anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it's a interesting perspective, because I think very similar to what Stefan said about corporate comedy, is that the expectation is just different. I think we have this high expectation that it has to be polished. You got to do 45 minutes. It's got to be corporate clean. And then Stefan takes corporate comedy and does 15 minutes of comedy and then sprinkles it with improv and things that make the company look good. And it's like, oh, you're just redefining what the experience is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's kind of what's happening with comedy, is that, I mean, whatever you want to call it, but the influx of comedy, technology, social media is redefining what people find funny and redefining what people find to be the standard definition of a comedian. So even established comedians that have material, to get people to come to their shows, you got to put clips out. And you don't want to burn your material because that's your bread and butter. So you put out crowd clips to get people interested, be like, oh, he's funny. That'd be fun to go to a show. And then you get to the show, you're like, man, he's a real comedian. Bow, kind of thing. But also our attention spans are smaller. Like I think it's all just about shifting with what's happening in the world itself as well. Like, we are where we are because the world is where we are. So yes, you can go back to the way that it used to be, but can you survive doing that? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. But not all times are they saying, oh, we saw their social media, let's go see them live.
Very true.
It ain't
Yeah.
there.
No, very
which
true.
happens a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
Not all the time, but there are several comics who, I like to keep my ear to the ground, and I've gone and watched several comics big on social media, and then you get there and it's some stand up and then a lot of crowd work, and then sometimes it's literally, all right, it's the crowd work portion of the show, and then they just like prompt the crowd work. I saw one recently. Oh my gosh, this guy's like super known for crowd work.
Yeah.
And by the way, selling out shows, moving tickets, like these comics are killing it, and their fans love them.
Absolutely.
And they're making money, and they're happy. Like, the fans are happy with the experience, the comic, like, there's no fault here. I'm I skew in Bill's point of view of just like, man, don't you just want to be good and just murder all the time from like that perspective? But like you said, the medium is evolving or devolving. You can look at it either way. Progressing or regressing. It's what you want it to be. we're now game show hosts more than stand-up comedians. But there was basically I guess some of the people in there didn't want to be crowd worked. So
Mhm.
he was like trying to do crowd work with him, and the lady was like, "I didn't consent to crowd work."
Ah, that's so funny. And here's the
Yeah.
thing. There's probably so used to it because now when you walk into a lot of comedy shows, there's usually like a thing on like a consent form that says if you walk in here, you are
Right.
consenting to crowd work, basically, because this comedian does crowd work.
Yeah.
And
Or being
so
filmed,
we're being
because comics
filmed
will have
about
a camera on stage with them now, just filming
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
audience. You
Yeah.
know.
So basically, it's like a legal document that basically says if you enter into the space, you are now being
Yeah.
recorded, and anything you use, we can use, or anything you say can be used for the sake of, crowd work. But it's like, I actually wonder if that might come and bite us comedians in the back when people are just like, all right, I'm tired of going to shows where everything is crowd work and I just want to hear something funny rather than what kind of job this dude has.
Oh, dude, I saw a clip one time that made me cringe where it was a comic trying to do crowd work to the front row, and then the audience member was like, "Oh, the other comic already asked me that." And they were like, "Oh, well now I'm asking you." And they like doubled down on trying to crowd work this person that was not wanting to be crowd worked, asking the same question the comic before them asked. And
Oh
you could tell
my,
it was like a younger comic.
yeah,
And it can just become a crutch or a bad habit. But
yeah,
gosh, if it's working and it's selling tickets, it's hard to tell a comic, come on, pay your dues, hate yourself for 10 years, get bitter, and
yeah,
then, it's so tough to, hate yourself on the road, stay at a Motel 6,
for
eating
sure.
sardines and, with a spork.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah, yeah,
can't. So it was an interesting perspective to hear, Bill say that. And,
yeah.
Bill and I are on a first name basis. So,
Oh,
he
for
told
sure.
me
Yeah,
actually to play. He's like,
yeah.
hey, Joel, would you play that clip on your podcast?
It's a
Let
pretty
these
good
kids know
impression.
the truth.
That's a pretty good impression, dude. That's solid. I did
I've
a
never done a
gig
Bill
with
Burr impression.
I did a gig with Karen Mills, who opens for Leanne Morgan this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Dude,
OG.
master class in just a com like just a con just watching someone, you're like, oh, you do this.
Right.
And like at the beginning we were trying to figure out like the time or something like that, and she was like, so how much time am I doing? I think they said 70 minutes, just no flex. She was like, oh yeah, that okay, like just yeah, that sounds about right. And does 70 minutes of kill,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
clean killing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And just I watched her from the back, I watched her from the side. I was like, oh my god, this is like, it was just such good comedy. And I love just what I think for me it is hard to watch an hour of clean comedy
What?
for me. Yeah, yeah, like an
Even if it's
hour of
funny?
clean comedy. It's like it's got to be like Bargatze level for me to like. I would say this: I can watch an hour like at a club, but at home it's hard for me to stay like attuned to an hour, except maybe like Gaffigan or somebody like that. It's got to be like
Uh,
top tier.
oh, well, that goes
And
for any comedy.
yeah, but
Watching
I
an
think
hour of bad comedy.
yeah, but like I wasn't expecting how much I was going to enjoy this. You know what I mean? And like,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
and it was just like, oh, it was just so good. She was so good. And also just read her crowd. And the crowd
Yeah.
just like was just eating it up. But it was so good. It was just like well written material, very good like engagement with the crowd. She barely did any crowd work, but when she did, it was still magical.
Uh-huh.
But just watching like an OG in the game, she's probably been doing it like 30, maybe 30 plus years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
actually
yeah.
started in Atlanta as well. So
Oh, I didn't
just
know
like
she started in Atlanta.
She's friends with like
Probably the punchline.
yeah, at the punchline, she's friends with Andy Samford, mom or
Uh-huh.
something like that. So like they're like best friends, I think. I'm just putting
Hilarious.
this out there.
What's
Basically
the
like
tea, Yoshi? Yeah.
basically it was just like, oh, this is like a profession now. And it's just
Right.
like
And there's a
refreshing.
difference. And like
And
younger
there's a
comics can tell
dude,
when,
it
if they're like,
is
oh man,
it
I've been
was
doing crowd work, I need to get my material
yeah,
game on point.
yeah. Like I went home and wrote like a lot. I was like, I need to step my game up. Like when you
Yeah.
watch somebody like that and be like, oh my God, like that was just it was like effortless how well she did it. So it was just awesome to watch.
Yeah. And it's not just like young comics doing the crowd work. You know, Pete Lee was on the podcast. This is a vet who popped on social doing crowd work, but this is a guy who has the show to back up the clips, you know. So
Yeah.
he developed and then started like doing the clips. So it's all, you know, there's no one way, there's just really your way in this game. So, and, you know, and Burr was specific about saying he's not hating on the young comics. He's just saying, as an OG, it's like, oh man, it's not even about being good anymore. Like, that's
Yes.
not even the goal for comics. They're not like, oh, I want to get good. They're like, oh, I want to get on.
Yeah. But I think that's part of it now is that I think I've mentioned this to you. I feel like comedians, we've made this look so easy. Like we make comedy look so easy to do. Oh, you just get up on stage and talk with the crowd and then make it just work. And you're like, oh God, you have no idea like the level
Yeah,
of
it's
like
so
things
hard.
you had to do to get to this point. But it also makes it like hard because people think it's so easy. They go on stage and they're like not good. And then you also, to your point, you see these social media people sort of try to just redefine it. I like the fact that people are redefining what comedy is. I think the hard part is there is no longer like rules of the game, and it's also taken out like a lot of gatekeeper level stuff, which I think was also the thing that was holding a lot of people back. Like people were, to his point, people were just writing to try to get onto the Tonight Show, or
Right.
writing to
And get a
try to get onto
sitcom.
something, to get on a sitcom or whatever.
Right.
And now the game's different, is they're not really worried about getting on a sitcom. They're worried about, can I get to a show? Can I do shows? Can I also like make my numbers pop? Can I do other things outside of just comedy, which I appreciate.
That's true. It has leveled the playing field in terms of like gatekeepers, and really the power is in our hands more
Boom.
than ever. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of what you want to do with that, and what you want your comedy to be built on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the content game is a whole other hustle that anyone who listens to this show consistently hears me complain about more than doing anything about. I'm like, oh, I should be posting more, or here we go. Well, I remember when Leah Rudick was on here, I was like, this is it. This is the time. I just learned everything I need to know about social media. I'm gonna, here we go. And then like 3 days later, I posted the same clip. I posted the clip once, and then I was like, ooh, let me edit that. And then reposted it like an hour later, and then was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. And you could say that every time I've interviewed a social media comedian. I was like, this is the time. I'm all in. So I respect the game and the hustle, because like it's a mental barrier that
For sure.
I'm currently working on, and we're getting more consistent on the Hot Breath page. So we're posting clips on there. Y'all can go follow on Instagram at Hot Breath Pod.
Absolutely. We getting there. We moving, man. We moving. Like we're doing
so
things differently.
It starts with one.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it is a weird mental block to just show up. I don't know what it is. It's very interesting. It's very vulnerable. But yeah, that was Bill Burr.
Yeah. Billy Burr.
Oh, and we do have some questions coming in. But I cut you off. Are you?
No. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just looking at some of the questions.
Yeah. So, Jerry Kroll asked if we saw Leah on Hiking with Kevin Nealon. No.
I have not seen that either.
But
Wow,
she's
that
great.
sounds
She's
awesome.
like, I went and she was in Atlanta, and I went and like did like a guest spot on her show and got to watch her. She's like a
Nice.
Carol Burnett. She's wild. She's
I
so
love
good.
that. I
Yeah,
love
she's so good. Yeah, Leah Rudick. Check her out if y'all haven't. She's awesome and super nice. But the next question I'm seeing here, as we get into the questions, and we would love to hear your opinion on the Bill Burr clip as well. If y'all want to tag us on social media, we'll be sure. We love seeing y'all sharing clips of the show. We love getting DMs, and I love when people do like screen records of this podcast and share them out and whatnot. That's always fun. 'Cause
Always
we're all
the
in this
best.
together, kids.
Yes, we are.
So, Mike Betancourt asked the best apps for organizing jokes and sets, which I think this was a topic in our Facebook group, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm starting to become, not even become, but like, I really do enjoy Notion, and I use UpNote as well. Those are the two that
Mm-hmm.
that I use, and they're basically like, one is like organizing all of like my material into one place, and then picking out which one I want for like a specific thing, and then I use UpNote just as like a quick just notes about anything and everything. So everything kind of starts in UpNote, and then it makes its way into uh, Notion for me. So to organize it when it's like, so basically in its like final draft form, that's when I move it
Mm-hmm.
over, and then I organize it there.
Yeah, I've been using Notion as of late. Oh, and Mike, yeah, this was in the Facebook group. So people were saying Google Sheets, Google Keep.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
stand-up writer app. There's an app called The Gag that used to be known as Bits. So yeah, there's a few options out there. Honestly, it's like the one you're gonna use at the end of the
All that
day.
matters. Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I still use a notebook, even like just a straight up
Right.
notebook.
Yeah, me
My wife
too.
got me this thing a while back. I'll say I'm like 50-50 on it, where I can write notes like in it, and then I can transfer it over to like my Google Notes, or transfer it over to like Evernote or something like that. And I use it for like a little bit, but it doesn't transcribe, and doesn't like take my handwriting,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I think some other ones do. And so it just comes in as images. So that was good for like a couple times, but I was like, I don't want to like rewrite twice or like copy and paste twice. So I did that for a little bit, but I like it just because it helps with like my daily. And then I just take it off and then write in there whenever I'm like working on like a long set and I actually want to write it down. Um, but yeah, it's whatever you use is the best thing for you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just I would say just find a way to organize your material to where you're not going back to it trying to organize it later on, because then
Mm-hmm.
it just becomes a cycle of, oh, I'll do it this weekend, oh, I'll do it next weekend, and it's hard to catch up. So
For sure.
when possible, just find a system that works for you. Find like just an organizational structure that works for you. If you organize your stuff by tags, tag it as soon as you write the joke. Is it a family joke? Is it a about material? Is it about dating? Whatever you want to use, do that. And then when you look up your material, be like, oh, what dating material do I have? You can find it easier as well.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever best fits your creative process. But we all need some sort of structure, even though we're artists and creative, man, and just do what I feel. If you want comedy to be your job, you got to treat it as a job. And these jokes are assets that can pay dividends for years and years and years and years. So
Let
you
'em
really
know.
want to honor the work you're putting in to develop them by keeping them organized.
Let them know.
Yeah. And Michelle said I could do a funny gardening with Joel where I dig in the dirt and get dirt from comedians. That would be
Mhm.
fun.
That would be fun.
Be a good way to get help in my garden. She says, hey, my wife has 5 more roses she wants me to plant. Come on over. Let's do content. How can we monetize this?
That's great.
I love that though. Yeah, I definitely want to host a gardening show. That's the dream right there. Okay. Minor Zaldanya. What are the minimum requirements I should ask before accepting a gig besides actual money? Well, you want to make sure that they have like sound, or if they don't, you can provide the sound and charge extra for that. That's something that I'll do. If someone wants me to do an event for them and they don't have sound, I do have like a system that I can charge extra for them for me to bring it. But yeah, I mean, you want to get and this is something we talked about in the corporate comedy masterclass. You really want to get as much context as possible for the event. You don't want to go into the event blind. You want to know as much as humanly possible. So, I mean, of course, you want to know when, where, who's going to be in the audience. You want to get a feel for the demographic. What's the location, so you can get kind of a feel for that area and what kind of people are there, socioeconomically, and things like that. It all to help build context for who you're going to be performing for.
For
But
sure.
really, the questions you want to be asking, if they have any limitations on what they want you to talk about. Are there certain topics you want me to avoid? Certain words you want me to avoid? Things like that
Yeah.
is another good thing to ask as well.
Yep. Ask if it's clean or dirty show, depending on where you are. Ask if there's going to be kids there. Surprise, surprise! You just never know.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah, kids.
that's an
Yeah.
important factor. If there's going to be kids at the event, when you get to the event, ask that they turn off the TVs. I know we talked
Yeah.
about this earlier. Ask that they turn
Yeah.
off the TVs, turn off the music, especially if it's in an area where like it's like super loud. That does not help out your set to have music in the background
Mm-hmm.
at all. And before, I would say before you book, always ask like what kind of marketing they do to promote the show as well.
Ooh,
So you
yeah.
know whether you're going to be doing all the promotion and marketing or they're going to be doing it. And the goal to making it work is that this is a partnership, to think of it as a partnership rather than you're doing everything, they're doing everything. If you're both doing stuff to make it work, then that's a true partnership because you both got some skin in the game, as they say. But yeah, ask about the marketing, ask about the venue, the space. Do they have a stage? Like, is it going to be properly lit for actual comedy? Um, and yeah, and I always say before you do the show at a venue, go to the venue.
Oh yeah.
Like, just take in something else at the venue helps you recognize like what kind of space you're in and the kind of crowd that you may likely get for that evening as well.
Yeah, the least amount of surprises as possible
Yeah.
is really what you're going for there. So you can go in with as much confidence and preparation as possible.
Yep.
And it looks like the final question I'm seeing here. Oh, and congrats. Go Like Personality said they just came home from their first open mic and it went great.
Yay.
Very
Yay.
nice.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We love hearing these victories. And earlier, I think before we started the live, Frank Herrera was talking about doing his first English open mic in Sacramento, which is awesome. We love hearing these
Boom.
wins. So thank you for
Love
sharing.
it. Let's go, baby.
So the final question I'm seeing here. Actually, we did the apps. We did that one. I thought there was another one. Perhaps not. Oh, Minor asked about dealing with gate. Which?
I mean, I think gatekeepers are going to be there. I think the key to really handling gatekeepers is sort of just to think as part of your job as a comedian is also to always network no matter where you are. So
Mm-hmm.
gatekeepers are there because they've got their own show, they've got their own thing that they're doing. They might be a producer, they might own a club, whatever you want to call it in terms of what you consider to be gatekeeping. Just know that they're doing something else, likely, other than just looking for talent. So it's always about putting yourself in the right situation. One thing to always ask the gatekeepers, I this is a helpful, is to say, how can I get in front of you so you can book me? Or are there places that you go to that I can be seen, that you consider for booking, basically? Or you can ask them, can I send you a tape? That's always a proper request as well. So just say, hey, can I send you a tape? I'd like to get on your show. And especially with gatekeepers, and I know I'm bucking them in like gatekeepers and comedy club owners and people who are bookers, but go to their venue. Don't just like
Yeah.
show up and just be like, oh, can I get you a tape? And then they don't see you at all. It just doesn't help.
Yeah. And like these people are getting just heckled with gimme, gimme, gimmes all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
So, be mindful of that and how can you separate yourself from every other annoying comic. And it's being professional and empathetic and just
Yeah. Don't be
trying
an
to
a-hole.
work with them and not get something from them.
Boom. Boom.
But yeah, and otherwise it's focus on what you can control because I've done the dance, I've played the games and done exactly what certain gatekeepers say, and then
Nothing.
still nothing happens. I mean, there was literally like
Yeah.
one, we won't say names, but there's literally a place who was like, we want to do this with you. Send us this on this date. And we want to make this happen. Like they reached out to me.
Yeah.
So I did all of that, sent it to them on that day. And then they replied, oh, we're not doing anything until next year. We're all booked up for the rest of this year. And I was just like, okay. A younger me may have been like,
Yeah.
But I mean, now I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I did everything within my control to set myself up to take the most of that opportunity, and that's what came of it. So like, it happens at every level, and it's just you can do what you can control, and then beyond that, it's just putting your best foot forward with your best intention possible, and then whatever happens from that effort you can live with because you did everything within your power to make the most of the opportunity. And then everything else is out of your control there.
Everything else is out of control.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's land this plane. I know we have a little bit of a shorter one, but this is the second live stream we've done today.
Yeah.
So y'all get on that email list. Oh, and I see Lightning Rod asking are there limits to comedy anymore, like Kill Tony style? And it's really, it just has to be funny at the end of the day. I mean, that's all I care about. There has to be jokes in there, kids.
Yeah. And I think one thing to be just mindful of, especially in like the Kill Tony world, is there is a crowd for that. But
for sure.
Don't equate that crowd is what every comedy crowd wants. There's a certain type of crowd that wants that style of comedy, but that doesn't mean every crowd like that is out there wants that style of comedy. So just know that because you're going to start touring and start going to different parts of the country, you're going to try your Kill Tony material and it's just not going to do well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's people that show up from Kill Tony that this has happened in Atlanta. They do their Kill Tony type material and they hear crickets.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just doesn't work, or it just is not the crowd for that type of comedy. And so just being mindful of that is a super important thing. So it doesn't mean that you can't do that comedy. Just know the audience that you're trying to do it in front of may not be geared towards that style of comedy.
Yeah. And if that style is authentic to you, then
Yeah.
go for it. But don't feel like you
Sure.
need to try to be edgy because maybe I'll get on Kill Tony, or I see it working there, so maybe it'll work for me.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
that's your authentic style and that's where your sense of humor is in your head, that's what the kind of comedy you like to create, and you're not trying to put on some sort of character for the sake because it's popular,
Yep.
then yeah, by no means don't feel like you have to do that style. That is a style of the infinite styles. And the whole goal we're trying to find is our own unique styles, because that's when you find your voice.
Yes.
Yep. But great question. Great questions all around. Great live stream today, Yoshi. I think we got a good talk about Bill Burr. So we'd love to hear y'all's feedback on that Bill Burr clip. What do you think? Let us know on social media at Hot Breath Pod in our Facebook group. Join our email list. I mean, you know, we out here.
We are. We're putting in that work.
That's right.
We're putting in the work, baby.
And we're here for you, Comedy Fam. We do these live streams every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel. Your homework, tell one comic out in an open mic this week about Hot Breath.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Say, have you heard of Hot Breath?
Yep.
It's been the
And
Hot
then
Breath
tell them
gospel.
go tell them to watch the Yoshi So American African special as well.
On the Hot Breath YouTube channel. Hot Breath. We love you all. We'll see y'all next
Bye.
Tuesday.
Wow.